Jingle bells, jingle. Oh, wait a second, we've only got 7 months left until Christmas that time, so yeah, it's a bit too early to celebrate that. Sorry about that. Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I am of course back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Banjo-Kazooie for the Nintendo 64/Xbox Live Arcade on the likes of the Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, or Xbox Series X if you prefer the disc drive. So, last time we have managed to able to 100% for everything in terms of Bubblegum Swamp, and all in all that was actually a nice little world. So today for this episode is the fact that we are moving on to the 5th world in the game, known as Freezeezy Peak. And as you can tell, this is a winter-themed world, and as far as I'm aware, that's, yeah, not much else to say about this world. And, if you played Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, that, if you're trying to come across into several of, spirit battles, like, if you do manage to able to come across into this familiar music in the background, which appears to be Freezeezy Peak, original, you know, music, not so much remix or anything else like that, then you mostly recognize that music if you guys played Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in the likes of Spiral Mountain stage. So either way though, everything else will be goes out for this point. So anyway, today's day is of course the 25th of May today, in this case in 2021. Looks like we're almost approaching towards the forms of June. So in this case, we've only got about, well, suffice to say, we got next week until specifically we are approaching onto June. So because of this though, still hyped and everything else to be more specific, especially noticeable with, after all, the E3 2021 is slowly approaching, so even then though, we're expecting to be hyped. So, and if you can tell already, they did manage to able to bring us a lot of Christmas presents, as you can see on screen, which, either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves to this point, because here we go on to our next move, which appears to be by the forms of a big bomb. That's, no, not the forms of the dynamite bomb, it's just usually you launch straight into the actual target kind of, a move. So because of that though, like for instance, for example, that we do actually realize there are 3 targets to able to actually just, well, target it at. Which, I'll do that later, because for now, let's go and take care of the forms of... Oh, jeez, that was close. Yeah, if you're probably wondering, yes, the water itself is really, really cold. So because of that, though, if you actually swim into the actual icy water, apparently, though, you will take damage. So, unless... that, much like the forms of Bubblegum Swamp, this is another one of those transformations that we might able to come across into, but then again, we'll save that up until later, because for now, we need to take care of the forms of this particular mission, that we have to able to let those little, Christmas light bulbs manage to able to get into the actual tree. I mean, what is this, like a Christmas celebration? Like in the earliest point, if possible? But, again, as I said this before, we only got about 7 months already, so because of that though, it's a bit too early to celebrate. So anyway, and of course while you're at it though, is the fact that you need to take care of these little munchers to able to actually just to get them out of the way, before the actual Christmas light bulbs were able to actually get smashed, if they managed to able to touch the actual munchers, as you can see one over there. And I think you're gonna have to able to let these, Christmas light bulbs inserted for about 10 of them. So because of that though, if you've done 10 of them, then you would able to actually realize they're able to actually bring us something interesting, to say the least. But I think that should be enough at this point, so it doesn't matter if I actually did several mistakes, but regardless of such though, we have accomplished it. So because of that, we have an on switch in the background, at the back of that specific Christmas tree part. And, yeah, it does remind me of a Christmas vibe to it, which, every time whenever I managed to able to celebrate Christmas in the past, that this is a level I always remember. So because of this though, yeah, if you're trying to activate the on switch, then, oh, look at that, the Christmas tree lights up, including the star itself. Although, again, mind you, that the actual, Christmas is a bit like, 7 months away. So because of that though, in exactly the 25th at this point, so yeah, it's exactly 7 months away now. So because of that though, yeah, let's not talk about that right now, just because, well, we're still in May, and we are usually almost approaching onto the halfway point in terms of the forms of 2021. So, anyway, and I think if I recall correctly, we need to go for the star 3 times, and then that way, the Jiggy is now finally be released by that little icicle right there. So yeah, pretty top-notch, all things considered, especially... drat. That was my fault right there, but that's okay, because either way though, I'll try to pick up more health eventually, so... And of course, we can never forget the Mumble Token, because obviously we do need to collect a lot of those Mumble Tokens exponentially, so... Here's that little Christmas present right there, and I believe we need to collect about 3 of them. So because of that though, with these children, little polar bears, that they were so desperate they really want to get the Christmas presents, well, that's one of those another objectives we can do. So because of that... Excuse me. Because of that though, we need to able to actually do a lot of exploration, like we already stated that before, so anyways, let's go climb all the way up to the top, and sure enough, we'll get the first Jiggy in the whole entire, well, Freezeezy Peak. Unfortunately though, out of all the actual worlds we're going to be running into, I don't think we can able to go for 100% completion of this world. Mainly it's because, well, for the time being, we'll pretty much gonna have to still stick with the forms of, you know, still need to collect those extra honeycomb pieces, and also same applies to the forms of those musical notes, and also just, well, you know, Jinjos and all that stuff. As far as Jiggies are concerned, well, we're gonna have to able to collect about 9 of them for this point, because for the 10th and final one, well, we do need to able to unlock the final move in the game, which turns out is going to be on the 6th world, by the way, because this is the 5th world after all, and because of that though, we'll talk more about that until tomorrow. So because of this though, yeah, let's go ahead and just do some more objectives. Like, for instance, we're going to have to, like, launch ourselves towards those 3 targets on the actual snowman itself. Seriously, this place is breathtaking, especially because this place almost reminds me of those snow-themed levels from the likes of, let's just say Diddy Kong Racing for the Nintendo 64. And I believe one of those tracks is called Frosty Valley or Frosty Village. That basically is the fact that, yeah, that place reminds me of that specific racetrack. So because of that though, I'm not exactly sure if I was going to do the actual Let's Play of Diddy Kong Racing, because as far as I'm aware, I did manage to able to actually play it on my own time for a bit, and unfortunately though, that I seem to get frustrated with certain challenges, like, well, let's just say certain bosses might give me some trouble, and also it's the fact that the actual silver coin challenges is always going to be the biggest pain in the butt, especially during the harder tracks throughout, but especially noticeable, there was also the second playthrough of Diddy Kong Racing, which appears to be Adventure 2, not to be confused as Sonic Adventure 2 for the Dreamcast, except the fact that everything else is all completely flipped and mirrored, so... Excuse me, sorry about this point, guys. Also another thing as well is the fact that we've only got about lesser than a month left until specifically not only Sonic the Hedgehog, such as myself, we're about to be celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Sonic the Hedgehog gaming series, but also that we're about to be celebrating the Super Monkey Ball series as well, where it comes to its 20th anniversary as well. So this means it's going to be a double-edged sword where it comes to forms of, you know, anniversary celebrations. So because of this though, we'll figure I was able to do the actual special plan until that day will gotta come out, specifically the 23rd of June, which appears to be the celebration for those 2 franchises, of course. In this case, to me though, my favorite franchises when it comes to Sega mascots or anything else like that, next to, you know, Nights into Dreams and all the other stuff, but as far as everything else is concerned, I don't think I can able to mention more about it, so... no, why do I just do that? That was kind of my fault. Maybe because I was being so hasty at this point. But, luckily we can able to still go back up into that snowman, thanks to the forms of that little, you know, the red feather panel, so that way we can able to just, you know, fly upwards. But again, it does cost feathers, by the way, if you try to able to flap upwards. And it's also worth noting for is the fact that if you try to utilize the actual big bomb ability, basically it also costs feathers. So because of that though, like for instance, for example, the next objective we're going to be focused on from now on is about to be get rid of those jerky-ish snowmans. Like they're trying to able to go like kind of accent, and basically they'll just trying to throw some snowballs at you. So the only thing you need to aim for is the actual top hat itself. Because as you can tell that we do need to require to do that, because otherwise if you accomplish that, I believe the actual next Jiggy will show up. To be more specifically on top of the snowman's structure building, or the actual structure of the actual level as far as I like to say. So and also I really love the music too. Even though it's kind of a shame that this particular level doesn't play out on the, if you leave the title running, like if you go into the title screen of the game, basically it doesn't show us the actual gameplay demo of Freezeezy Peak, because all we get is just, well, I'll talk more about that once we get into the forms of the later progressioning of this Let's Play, specifically towards the very end. So, speaking of which though, is the fact that we've almost at the halfway point in terms of Banjo-Kazooie Let's Play so far. Well, mind you, we still got a whole lot of stuff to do, to be more specifically with the forms of, you know, obtaining more Jiggies here and there. Oh, this actually reminds me of the Advent calendars and all that stuff, which, to be expected with most Christmas seasons kind of holiday festival and stuff like that. But anyway, enough about that, and let's just go ahead and continue things on for this point, and grab the Mumble Tokens, and that leads us to 22 Mumble Tokens that we actually collected so far, so looking good so far. And, yeah, this bit right there, with all these little light-up houses, yeah, it does remind me of Frosty Village from the likes of Diddy Kong Racing almost, except the fact that rather than just having ourselves some bit of fog here and there. So at least that shows something, so... Anyways, let's grab these, you know, the extra honeycomb piece right here after get rid of the actual nasty snowman enemies, which, although I can't able to actually grab these notes, but I'm gonna have to save that for later. So because of that, yeah, let's just go ahead and do a little bit of a backflip jump while I was trying to able to make it onto the actual roof. There we go, so we should be all set, even though I'm really concerned about the fact that we probably might get enough, you know, red feathers to able to actually just to fly up, because that way it'll be the easiest and possibly the quickest way to able to make it for that point. So there we go, there's another present, and oh yeah, there's a blue ginger over there, but before I grab him, I need to basically just grab not only those musical notes here from the top of this hat, but also grab the Jiggy in case if these ice cube blocks will try to push me back, so we don't want to let that happen. So in this case though, let's do some bit of smashing. So yeah, there's not much else I can talk about for the sake of discussion for this point, guys, apart from the fact that, well, usually relatively speaking, it's just that, you know, I'm still pretty hyped when it comes to the forms of, well, E3 coming up, and also the anniversaries of Sonic the Hedgehog series, along with the Super Monkey Ball series as well. So, let me know in the comments below for the question of the day. Are you still excited when it comes to the forms of these celebrations between both Super Monkey Ball's 20th anniversary and Sonic the Hedgehog's 30th anniversary? So I'd like to hear your thoughts, because even then though, if you're a die-hard fan of those series, then more power to you, because even then though, I'm sure really gonna be expected able to celebrate those two really cool franchises. Because, you know. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop onto this little sled, and we're going fast, and somehow we're gonna get crash-landed into that little fellow's stomach, and because of that though, he somehow got the Jiggy stuck inside. So because of that though, problem solved, and basically he's now waiting us for able to actually just do a race, but we'll save that for later, because we do need to require the actual specific transformation in order to make it happen. So anyway, so now we got ourselves our 5th Jiggy in this world, and it looks like so far that we're pretty much at the halfway point in this world so far. So anyways though, let's go ahead and deliver those Christmas presents to those little polar bear kids, so that way they can able to celebrate their amazing gifts and all that stuff. So at least we can able to actually get ourselves the 6th Jiggy in Freezeezy Peak. So because of that though, yeah, pretty swell stuff. So because of that though, I think all it needs to do now is just basically we need to go ahead and meet up with Mumbo Jumbo. Yeah, that's what his surname, by the way. One thing I forgot to mention about this is that the Mumbo does have his surname, but he forms of Jumbo. So even then though, you probably get the idea about that. So anyways, let's go over here and just grab some more musical notes here. And wow, we're pretty much almost at the end of Freezeezy Peak. So because of that though, yeah, if you meet up with him again, basically that he's trying to say that sorry, you're too big for the sled. So we do need to require a specific transformation in order to make it happen, which hopefully we'll be able to do that, especially because after all we actually did manage to get quite enough of those, you know, Mumble Tokens. So either way though, let's go ahead and hit into the forms of, well, Mumbo's hut. So because of that though, we can able to expect, we can able to just, well, transforming into ourselves into a different kind of species, or to be more specifically, a different animal of any sorts. But before we get into that though, I can definitely tell not only do we have more musical notes, but also yellow Jinjo that was actually in here. So because of that though, the last one is actually in the actual Walrus cave. So because of that though, hopefully we'll find him if we manage to transform into ourselves into, wow, the Walrus, or Walrus, or anything else like that. I do apologize for that mispronunciation with that specific animal transformation, but I do apologize for that. But it knows what it is when it comes to my commentary. It gets a bit slightly iffy at times. But anyway, so let's just now go ahead and grab some more musical notes in the actual freezing water, because after all, the Walrus, or the Walrus, has managed to able to actually get, well, not much affected when it comes to the forms of cold freezing water, because obviously that we don't take that much damage. So yeah, pretty swell, and especially really helps about the fact that we can able to actually now explore underwater without even like getting hurt or anything else like that. So anyways, before we get into the forms of the Walrus cave, we do need to take care of the forms of a race objective, and basically we need to like race against with this little bear right here, and because of that though, we do need to beat him in order to be able to get the next Jiggy. However, you need to do this twice, by the way, once with the forms of the Walrus transformation, as you can see, and another one which we do need to require the final move in the game, which again, we'll talk more about that until tomorrow. So because of that though, all you have to do in here is the fact that, here's the catch though, is that if you remember watching the actual Winter Olympic events, like, you know, with the forms of slaloms or anything else like that, well, we need to go through all these slaloms, because if you miss one, and if you manage to ignore it completely, you failed that objective. Or if you manage to let that bear trying to able to win the race, then you're pretty much going to be failed that objective either. So because of that though, yeah, it might take some bit of practice if you have a first time playing these missions, but honestly, I think I pretty much got this. So because of that though, yeah, it's not too bad and not too difficult either. The hardest one of the bunch though is definitely the second version. Well, to be more specifically, the second time we're going to be able to actually deal with this race. So yeah, let's go to do these last two slaloms and keep on jumping, because keep jumping onto these little slants will be helpful, especially because if you really want to go a bit faster, then more power to you. So there we go, we've managed to able to claim first place after all, and we can able to obtain the next Jiggy. So because of that though, awesome swell stuff. And it looks like we only got about 3 Jiggies left, so here's another one if you manage to meet up with Walrus right here. That's basically, if you specifically only become a Walrus transformation, then you would able to get the 8th Jiggy, so awesome stuff. And the 9th Jiggy, obviously we do need to able to go after the last Jinjo, but before we do that, let me just go ahead and then just go through this way, because I think it's only required if you manage to able to transform into the Walrus transformation, and because of that, we're able to stumble across not only for those little gold feathers, and as well as the 1-up item, and also the forms of the extra honeycomb piece. So, yeah, pretty awesome as far as we can able to actually get some more health extensions if we manage to able to approach onto some harder portions of the game. So yeah, as far as I'm aware is that some of these worlds might actually go a bit, well, for Freezeezy Peak, I don't think this world is necessary to be all that long or hard, but usually until whenever we get onto the forms of the next few worlds, it will get a little bit longer and also a bit tricky at times. Well, to be more specifically, the most infamous world in the game, it will probably be on the 8th world because, well, I'm sure most people already know what I'm talking about, especially how usually back in the day that most people seem to get really frustrated with the upcoming world. Well, not until when we get onto this Friday though, because, well, as I mentioned this before, I will try to able to complete this game as much as possible before we move on to the next set of Let's Plays until at some point in June, because as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's anything else we can able to do for more schedules as far as at that point. So, anyways, let's go ahead and transform back onto Banjo and Kazooie transformation original form. So because of that though, now we can able to actually get the last Jinjo for this world, and I think we are basically done. Well, not until whenever we get into later on that we do need to able to unlock the final move in the game, as I said this before. That will have to be by the forms of, well, we'll talk more about that until tomorrow, as I said. So, oh, dang it. Oh well, no big deal. But at least it's not that far from here, I don't think. So, I was gonna able to try to pull off a nice little shortcut, but I failed to do so because I just mess up my jump angles and all that stuff. But that's probably just what I think about it. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump from here and try to go inside. Oh, really? How is that even that painful? Ah, whatever. Anyways, let's go inside the Walrus cave right here, and basically just do a backflip jump, and we get ourselves the last Jinjo in this world, and of course we get ourselves the 9th Jiggy. But again, to get the 10th and final Jiggy, we'll come back for that shortly, until specifically in the future. Now over here, this is one of those little secrets, by the way, and I'll show them off at some point in the extras video, which even then though, along with the forms of the game over screen, that if you manage the first time playing the game, or even trying to explore Gruntilda's lair for the first time or something, which again, I'll talk more about the forms of the extras of this game until specifically in the future, because, well, not now though, because we are still exploring through Freezeezy Peak for a while, and well, of course we'll be back onto this world eventually until specifically, I would say until tomorrow, because even then though, oh jeez, I somehow got slammed myself into the actual cliff right there. But no matter what though, we'll, oh jeez Louise, I always keep on getting hit a lot. But thankfully we're able to find the healing stationery whenever we're able to find not only Brentley, but also if we're able to try to find, well, let's just say, dang it, really? Oh jeez, we have to dodge those little nasty snowmans, as you can tell from this point right now, so, but regardless of anything else though, I don't think there's anything we can do in here, just because, obviously, we just can't use those little, yeah, you'll probably will able to find out until, oh, what the heck? Why do I just jump over there? Ah, jeez. But anyway, at least we grabbed the Mumble Token at least, so, yeah, I think we are essentially pretty much done for the sake of time, so, yeah, there's nothing we can do there, so, anyway, so I think we're pretty much gonna have to head back onto this world until once we've done with the 6th world, first of all, because again, I'll talk more about that until tomorrow, so, yeah, for now on though, let's go ahead and take care of these little enemies first, and, basically, I do need to able to grab more honeycombs for health. So because of that though, because I'm almost going to come across into the first death of the playthrough, but to be expected until in the future, that we will come across into the very first death of the playthrough pretty much. So yeah, best of luck from my part. So anyway, let's go ahead and activate this another musical notes door, but obviously we do get enough, so in this case we can now able to progress to the well, the next puzzle section, and because of that, we're able to unlock the 6th world in the entire game, known as Goldbeast Ballet, and it appears to be like a desert-themed world. I think to me though, Goldbeast Ballet was actually the most uniquest world in the game, although there was actually that one particular world that is super unique, but then again though, we'll talk more about that until specifically on Saturday. So because of that though, because this is on, obviously since this is Tuesday of course, that I forgot to mention about that. So anyway, where's the actual, the door is actually over there. But before we get into this actually, I need to double check what's beyond up here. So in this case we have another musical note door, 450 we need to unlock, but since I got 50 more than its original requirement, I know it's a bit too early to able to activate that, but who knows, because I do need able to actually make, oh jeez, camera angle, can you not mess me up now? Anyway, so let's go ahead and get rid of those little spider webs by utilizing the blue eggs and all that stuff, and we can able to now activate the green cauldron, so that way we need to find the exact same color as the forms of the other cauldron's color. But anyway, let's talk to this Brittany fellow here, and basically she's trying to tell us tap poles on toast. Ugh, how weird is that? Matt got pie for dinner. Ugh, gross, man. Anyway, rat snobbets for dessert. Oh my god, she eats the most despicable, disgusting food that she ever has. Well, for Grand Tour anyway. So, anyway though, but again, it's very important until specifically towards the end of the game, if you're trying to keep on asking Brittany, to able to just, ask her some specific questions. So, anyways, let's go ahead and... Oh, dang it! I just got hit, but that's okay, because I can simply make it for this point. And of course, we have another Brittany over here. So in this case, though... Shaggy Maggie? Okay. How weird is that? Oh, do you think so, Grandtilda? That the hardest world yet for Goldbeast Ballet? Well, we'll find out until then, so... Big Butts and Guts magazine. Oh, jeez Louise, man. And her favorite, Smoothie Elephant Sweat. Ooh, yay. I can't stress that enough. But anyways, I think suffice to say we got the endings off at this point right here. So join me next time on Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie. Is that we are moving on to Goldbeast Ballet. So I'll see you guys until tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Later, fellas.